course, it's always about the West, right?
Yeah.
So,
and the biggest news there
is the Houston Rockets.
Right.
Like, we have to
KD,
talk about the Houston
y'all.
Rockets.
If y'all don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
The Houston Rockets just picked up KD,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, and what?
Yeah.
I think that shook everybody. Everyone was like, ooh.
Let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Try to go against us, get you out the way. Go hard, it's the only way to play. Let me say, I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Who can do it better? I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Hey, look.
Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since we have been around, but summer's been summering, but we are back.
Yes, welcome to another episode of Sports.
I know, it's technically season 2.
Yeah, we're in our second
We did
season.
season
We did season 1.
1. Woo.
Yes,
Look
it went
at
from a
us.
dream to reality.
Yay.
Obviously, I'm Erica Lynn O'Keefe.
Yes, and I'm Gloria Govian.
And so we're here. Gloria has been running around with her boys. How's
My
summer been
goodness.
going with the boys so
Summer
far?
has been legit. Summer's been summering. You know what's crazy is I'm now in an age where I need time to recover from like peopling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is crazy. So I've been doing that. I've been running around with the boys.
Okay.
They've had Section 7, Cali Live. They're going to Peach Jam. So they've just kind of been all over the place. Carter got hurt, which is like...
Yeah. What did he injure?
It was a high ankle sprain, left leg, high ankle sprain. Probably out for like 2 months.
Oof.
At this point, like a month left. But
What
it's
does treatment look like for that?
a lot of icing, elevation. It's like right borderline. Like they say it's better almost at this point to break it because then it's just clean. You cast it and you keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, because at this point, it's understanding that when your kid is good enough to be recruited, they're not just recruiting the kid, they're recruiting the whole family.
Whole
So
family.
parents, how you handle yourselves at
That's
the
right.
games matter just as much as what the kid is doing on the court, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still like, hey, Juan!
You're,
Like,
of
I'm still that
course,
person.
of course. Yeah.
But I'm not as like, actually, I'm not as like constant heckling refs.
Sure.
They get a piece of my mind because that was not a block, that was a charge type of thing.
For the most part,
for the most part,
play.
I've reeled it back a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm sure people would be like, that's reeled back. But
Right, but
it has, I have.
This is good.
Yes.
We like that. All right, that's cool.
That's me.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I've just been hanging back.
I was about to say, how are you doing? I know you're Dodger. Are you Dodgering?
Yeah, I'm Dodgering. I'll be there to hopefully see Kershaw get in the history books with 3,000 strikeouts.
Dang, that's wild.
Which would be really, really cool.
Yeah, that's
so
dope.
we'll be at Blue Heaven on Wednesday to check it out. So I'm excited about that. To see him reach this kind of milestone. That's why last year when we won, and even though he didn't listen, he just showed up for the group project.
He was.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
and
he said it at the parade, and I was like, I love that. But to see him get to like have that moment because we didn't get the parade in 2020, and just kind of and win the championship and do all that based off after all he's given us, it's really cool to kind of like get to see somebody that you've watched their career and journey with as a part of your team, like have this kind of historic moment. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to hopefully, because buddy, he was shaky when he first got back out there on the mound. Yeah, just keeping up with the sports as normal. We obviously we wrapped up the finals, the NBA finals.
Oh, girl.
It was a
lot of shit talking.
It was a lot of shit talking, but it was so fun.
It was so good. It was really good basketball.
It really lived up to the hype. I knew that. I mean, a lot of people didn't think it was going to go as long as it did.
Yeah, I said you had
OKC in 6, but even
yeah.
people didn't even think it was going to even get that far in the beginning.
That's true.
Yeah, people were kind of like, oh, OKC's going to wipe the floor with Indy.
Yeah, but then when Indy won the first game, everyone was like...
But I'm like, have y'all not been watching them this whole playoff run?
Like,
you know what I mean?
Indy?
They just had it. So obviously it ended for them in heartbreaking. That as soon as he went down and you saw his face, I was like, I wanted to give him my Achilles, Jesus.
Let me tell you,
like,
we were driving from Vegas, and so it was kept going in and out, and so it was delayed for us. So we were like, yes, because he had shot He hit 3, right? 3 threes in a row,
yeah.
9 points in like
7 minutes.
Exactly, like quick. So we were like, good Lord, no. And then, so it was delayed. Yeah. So then all of a sudden we saw his last shot. He came down and then he went and then the phone, it was like a commercial. The phone like stopped and we were like, wait. And then it picked back up and it was like, I was like.
Yeah, that was.
But we still would have won, but like,
obviously she has to say that because she picked OKC. I think that here at minimum. Obviously we'll never know because we're sitting here doing good, would have good shit what OKC did do was win the game. That's you know true. What I mean? Like you play who's in front of you. So
7.
What they did was they won the game and they won the championship and congratulations to them. You know, we joked on Twitter like we don't honor this championship. Right, faulty. But at the end of the day, don't nobody give a damn in Oklahoma City and nor should they. Like, just like I joke about the bubble ring for the Lakers. Like if it was the Clippers, I'd be like, cool. But let me tell you what we did though. Like I don't give a fuck about y'all little jokes. We still champions, right? It's still in the history book. So with that being said, congratulations to them.
Yep, SGA got MVP.
Just became the richest NBA player.
He's going to make $1 million a game.
By the time he gets to like 20, whatever it is, right now he's making $77 million a year. I mean, $71 million a year or whatever.
$237 million.
So shout out to him. Listen, I love to see black men get their money. I love to see NBA players.
$4.
Okay. I love to see NBA players making baseball player money. So they put their bodies on the line like they do, and they're playing at a level that they're playing.
It was a really good series.
It was a really good series. I think it also is just such a really great prelude to next season, but also just the league to come.
Oh, like who's coming up?
Just when you see two young teams like that battle in the way that they are and knowing that the old guards are like on their last year or two or whatever, I
just can't imagine basketball without the players I know.
Well, we grew up with them.
That's my point.
Yeah, like it's really crazy. I mean, our parents and the generations before went through this, but we've arrived. Like, LeBron is a week younger than me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his birthday is December 30th, and I'm the 19th or so. So it's like, when I think about it, I look at him as somebody like I grew up with. Yeah, you know what I mean? And you look at Steph and all of them, even though they're, a couple years younger than me, like, it's just like, what? So to your point, it's like,
Yeah, I'm also going to have to reinvest my time into the new, kids. Because I feel like I know our players.
You got to get into with the young boys. Because the young boys are doing it, man. Like, the league is in such great hands. And it's fun. The energy is there. So I'm excited, which kind of takes us into what's happening right now.
Yeah, girl. On this here day.
Baby, let me tell you something.
What? This shit is bananas.
The NBA don't know how to not do drama.
And they are bringing it.
And they are bringing the drama. We knew this was going to be a wild...
but this shit is crazy.
Yeah, the free agency has been crazy. So the CBA has really kicked things into a crazy gear, and it's made teams have to move around in ways that they wouldn't have a couple years ago before it kicked in. Like, we can do on paper who's going to win, but we don't know who's going to win next year.
Yeah, no, it's fair. And the way they're making moves now...
And that's exciting.
I mean, the West Coast is always fun.
Yeah.
But the way that...
Yeah.
Again, East Coast, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, with their injuries, injuries really sucks because with Jason going out and with Holly going out, and now Dame. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So I'm sure y'all know by now, obviously,
Dame.
The Milwaukee Bucks have decided to waive Damian Lillard. They still owe this man $100 million, which means that they have dead salary cap now in $22 million a year.
Like, I don't understand the
science in it,
yeah,
right?
I don't.
I guess
now he gets to choose whatever team he's going to play. And let me tell you something. Whatever team he chooses, and the day that motherfucker plays the Bucks, what? I need tickets to that game because Dame is he is going to go stupid.
We have a really great medical team.
Oh, Lord. Should I advocate for the Clippers? Get out of here, lady.
State-of-the-art facility, owner who's all in.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, just come here.
I'm just saying, come to death row, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could do some things. That's all I'm saying. So, Damien, if somebody happens to send this your way,
here's an invitation.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyways.
I love it. Do you think Giannis knew?
So I do think, this whole thing is happening to appease him.
Thank you.
And the reason why they felt like they had to do it now is because in a year he can leave, right? So I think they felt like they needed to do a win now thing, and with Dame being out essentially most of next season they were like, well, fuck it then.
Yeah, this will make the most sense.
Yeah, exactly. And, picking up Miles Turner, which none of us saw Miles Turner leaving Indiana. It's been talked about for years, but that actually happened. So there's also that. And picking up Miles Turner, who I think actually will complement Giannis really well. Okay, I see what y'all doing here, you know, in a weak East. Yeah, he knew. Yeah, you know what I mean?
We go back to the like, I was having dinner with my family and what?
Yeah, of course. Well, he's trying to save face and not look like the bad guy.
Right, but you know, again, Dame's gonna go stupid.
Bruh.
I'm so excited.
Yes,
that's gonna be fun. So there's a lot of shit happening.
So that was really crazy. So the East is kind of open now. The Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks speaking of the East, they actually, you know what? Shout out to Atlanta Hawks, okay?
What y'all done did?
They actually made some moves that we actually like and we're actually proud of them. Apparently, Trae Young himself was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And he got on the phone.
Didn't he like DM
he
somebody?
Called people, okay? He was like, listen, Kristaps, what's up? What you doing?
Right, what you got going on?
Or whatever. He called Luke Kennard, who has like really had a breakout in Memphis.
Just say
he brought in, so now he has shooting, he has rebounding, you know what I mean? Like he has stuff to play with, and they already had a pretty good nucleus anyway with their younger players and whatnot. One of the, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna attempt to do it. He's foreign. I think he's like French or something.
I don't know why I'm looking as if I
is going to be there. You're going to pronounce it. No, it's not on there.
Right, yes, but also I was like, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it either.
He plays for Atlanta. He's like Worcestershire or something like that. He was
Worcestershire.
Yeah, exactly. Good for you, Worcestershire. He was like in top leaders and like steals all year. Like they defensively, like he has some real good like players around him. Trae does.
Okay.
So again, with a weak East, I like the moves that Atlanta has made.
They bump themselves
and they'll
up a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah. Like I wouldn't jump out the gate and be like, they coming up.
Right.
But I do think that if they can stay healthy and kind of do what they're doing, I think they'll make it because again, at this point,
who knows?
Who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? So I think they've been good. But of course, it's always about the West, right?
Yeah.
So
and the biggest news there
is the Houston Rockets.
Right.
Like we have to talk about the Houston Rockets.
If y'all don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
The Houston Rockets just picked up KD, Kevin Durant, and what?
Yeah.
I think that shook everybody. Everyone was like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, they are a juggernaut on a lot of ways. They already had they were able to keep Amen Thompson, who's incredible. They have Jabari Smith Jr. that they are investing in. They have Sagoon, who's their center, who's really, really talented. They just picked up DFS, and they kept Adams, Bari, and then they might be bringing back
what's his name,
Clint Capella and all that. So they got a lot. And then Fred is up and down, but at least he gives you a little bit of that veteran presence and without him having to do too much.
That's kind of where KD comes in.
Yeah, exactly. So without him having to do too much, like, now that first game where he looks off KD for the shot, everybody's going to lose their mind.
Everyone's going to be like, time out.
Exactly. But for all intents and purposes, on paper, they look very formidable. And I think that they're gonna be a good one. The Denver Nuggets are also making moves.
Did they?
Yeah, I hate that. I don't like it. So that's a good move for them. They brought back Bruce Bowen, who won a championship with them. Now he's not the same Bruce, but he still fits their culture and all that.
I think you always need a little veteran kind of, seasoning on it.
And then they went and got Valanciunas, how do you say that? Jonas from Sacramento, and he gives us the fits. Like he turns into full blown Steph Curry against our asses. I'm like, motherfucker, ain't you 7 feet? Get in the paint.
Right,
like,
exactly.
What are you doing?
Why are you so outside?
So he's a good backup, or if they want to twin tower it. So Denver's gonna be
twin tower it, him and Joker.
Yeah, Denver's doing a little. They're doing little things.
People are they're doing sneaky stuff where you're like, you gotta really pay attention.
Well, because you're like, low key, you forget it because you're thinking about the blockbuster stuff. You kind of forget about the them and forget that a lot of these teams in the West are just 1 or 2 tweaks away from still being right there in contention, right? Like OKC's going to be OKC still.
Yeah.
They had nothing but more draft picks to develop more young people.
The top 10 teams were right there.
That's
what I'm saying. Behind.
That's what I'm saying. So it is like, even with us, like we needed a backup center. We went and got Brook Lopez. I love that move for us at the end of the day. Like
Brook's
I think he's sweet. He's an LA kid. Listen, we are collecting LA kids like Infinity Stones. I'm like, you know what? You want to play at home? You want to play at home?
Right. Your grandma must live here. Come on.
Exactly. Like a lot of our fan base cry about us not having homegrown talent in the sense of we're not drafting and developing in that way. We still live in LA. Steve just spent $1 billion on a stadium.
Yeah,
we don't have the luxury to wait 6 years for us to be a lottery team to hopefully draft the next generational player to
They've
become
talked a little
OKC.
bit about that. Who should the power lie with? The owners, the GM, definitely not the players. But, like where Like, where should
the truth of the matter is
no
that it sounds good
anymore.
in theories that you will still root for the team even if we sucked because you want to believe in us building up some players in the draft. Motherfuckers, y'all will be so mad if we went from being a perennial playoff team who had real championship aspirations
and to just falling off to just so that we can keep it local.
Y'all barely want to pay what we have to pay to go there now. Right. Now y'all gonna go there and pay for. Be for fucking real. Like, that's you know what I mean? Like, fans don't know what they want. It just sounds good in theory. And they do a lot of stuff in hindsight. You saw what happened with this one team, and you're like, well, we should be doing that.
It's the
like,
same.
That's not how this works. At the end of the day, that man is going all in to try to win right now. And best believe, if it works out, all y'all gonna be there. Oh my God, the Clippers. Fuck out of here. Y'all are not invited to the parade. I just
Make sure you keep that on, KK. Don't edit that part out.
I tell the motherfuckers all this. I was literally like, I'm muting all y'all because y'all stupid. So welcome, Brick Lopez.
Welcome back.
Exactly. I'm not, whatever. And then to round it out, the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah.
Yes.
They'll still be interesting if they can stay healthy. They are the essential if they can stay healthy team.
Well, I mean,
if Anthony Davis can stay healthy, D'Angelo Russell is what he is, but he gonna get you a bucket and he's gonna, play hard and do what he does or whatever. But they still got Lively, they still got Klay Thompson, they still got Kyrie Irving if he can be healthy.
Yeah, like Cooper Flag
now. I think I would have to check, but I believe they added somebody else today as well. Yeah, since whatever. So I think Dallas is kind of one of those like sleeper teams that like. I'm not saying they're gonna like win it all per se, but I do think that they'll
stay right in there though. They'll be competitive.
Yeah, like I don't want to have to score on them.
Right.
If they're healthy, I don't want to try to score on them. You know what I mean? Like
I'm always interested to see big blockbuster drafts like that, like how they fit in. How quickly they adjust to one another. What kind of relationship building is it gonna?
Yeah, like for Cooper Flag, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. When you bring someone in like that, because there's clear expectation. You've got to have clear minutes. You know what I mean? You can't just kind of like shelf him.
He's not just any draft player. When you're the number one and you're.
And your flag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need to be out there.
I mean, he's doing it in the right organization, I think, with a good, really great coach.
Who's the kid, AJ, who played, he went undrafted, but he had an opportunity. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think of his last name. But anyway, he went undrafted. This is kind of a story for your parents. Look here now. Mm-hmm. This kid was like, I'm going to get in the portal. I'm going to transfer to Kansas. Kansas offered him $3 million NIL deal. And the kid was like, well, just kidding, guys. I'm going to go enter the draft. The draft happens. His name is not called. He goes undrafted. And now he signs a 2-way contract for $587,000 instead. So just the idea of this bad advice, the not listening to yourself, the kind of this is where we talked a little bit about some of our previous guests, like parents' delusion, you know what I mean? That's really bad. Whoever that kid was listening to should be out of the league forever because you just cost him $3 million plus his career.
And for what? Yeah,
and for what?
Exactly, because y'all had too much dip on your chip.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, man. So anyway.
I mean, it's kind of like Ace Bailey. Too.
Yes, the way he tried to play the shit out of himself. Then still ended up at Utah.
And Utah was like, cool. Anyway, if you don't come play basketball, like, what are we doing right now? They done traded off Jordan Clarkson. Like, they're like, come on, bro. Like, come on, you gonna play hoop. But what he did was put extra pressure on him to perform.
On himself.
Yes. Because now you cause a whole stink like that and you don't want to go to a team, you better go out there and hoop. Because otherwise everybody's going to be looking at you and your whole little team. You saw the video of his uncle, daddy, whoever it was, who was like a part of his, I heard that he's not his full agent, but I think he's advising him or something like that. And I think he also had his own kid. He messed up his own kid's career similarly. And this is like a video of him and he's like, oh,
I got to see it. Yes. Insert
because you see him and you go,
why did I immediately picture the uncle on stage who's doing this? You know what I'm talking about?
He gives vibes. You know what I'm saying? You like, ain't nobody, everybody,
it ain't about you. Also, that's all my thing. It's not about you.
Why would I take your...
Correct. Let's see your resume and journey.
Anywho, so parents, let's all be for real in these streets before you do a thing.
Yeah.
So... Moving over to the women, the WNBA. So All-Stars is coming up.
I know. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited specifically because Paige Beckers
yes.
is the first rookie to start in an All-Star game.
And sis has been balling. She's
been
averaging like over 25 points a game. She's getting like 5 assists. And like
she's
all
got
that.
A rounded out amount of stats.
She really does.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew her game was going to translate to the WNBA, it felt like. But you never know if they're going to just come in and
kill it.
Yeah,
you know?
And she started off a little slow. So we were kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I think it was like she did start off slow. She had a great, she obviously is really talented. But I think when she started off slow, everyone was like, I mean, maybe it's a little too much for her, type of thing. And then she was like, oh, that was weird. I just needed to shake that off a little bit, guys. My bad. And she's starting
doing her
to kill
thing.
it.
Yeah, I mean, the Wings are what they are, but like she's definitely doing her thing. So she is a part of this All-Star starter. So on the West, it is of course Caitlin Clark, who is still doing phenomenal things in the league. Is Nafisa Collier, who at the start of the season I said that she is an MVP candidate and she has played. Listen, home chick is averaging. She's damn near averaging almost 30 a game, but she's definitely at like that 27 a game, 9 rebounds. Like she is killing it. And Minnesota is actually leading the West right now in the standings. They've only lost 2 games so far, so they're doing a big one or whatnot. And behind her, and then Aaliyah Boston and Jeffers Fallins. Yes, Jeffrey Fallins and Charles to round out the West. And then on the East, another Boston. We got 2 Bostons.
We do, yeah. I had to look at that too. I was like, wait a second, yeah.
Stevens, McBride, Sabely. I always say her name.
Yeah,
Satu. Skylar Diggins Smith, who's still hanging. I'm like, come on,
she really is though, and came through. Didn't she drop the Smith?
I don't know.
Remember she was going through a divorce. It was a whole thing.
Oh, shit.
I know. Skylar Diggins, I think. Yeah. She was like, well, that was weird.
Right. Yeah. Just kidding.
Yeah. Just kidding. Hashtag
she had the baby and came back. She's doing her thing, though. Yeah. Listen, you better do you. Sabrina Ionescu is actually injured, but she was supposed to be on the team. And right now, New York is doing everything on the East. They're the top seed, and they've only lost 5. They're always going to be in the mix, I feel like, just because you have a team with Sabrina and
what's her name? The tall. I was going to say the tall girl.
Tall one. But yes, they are doing their. While she thinks of the names, they're doing their thing or whatever. Obviously, they're already champions, so they're killing it. And then on the East, Atlanta is in 2nd seed, Indiana is in 3rd seed. Washington Mystics. Now Washington is considering trading their Boston. I think her first name is Leah too, I think, or whatever. Which I guess they're top heavy. Like they have a lot of like centers and bigger players, so they want to like move her. But she's so good, so it's kind of like a what?
Yeah, I think that was a big deal because she had talked about how much she loved being there and her teammates enjoyed having her.
Yeah, and they actually are starting to build something with the Mystics. You know, they haven't been good, for a little bit. And then Chicago. Now, it's not that many teams, so you just automatically be in the playoffs if you're on the East. And I do think
12. Yeah.
I do think they might need to consider doing away with until they do their full expansion. With doing
East Coast,
West Coast, and just do top
and
out of just records or whatever for this very reason. But for what it's worth, Chicago's in the 5 seed, and Angel Reese is starting to really come into her own. She is the first.
She's tired of the shit talking.
I mean, and we saw her doing the work with Lisa Leslie in the offseason.
Yeah,
we saw her doing the work at
the 3. Rival.
Unrivaled. Yes, that was
Unrivaled. God,
Unrivaled or whatever. You can see her growth. She's the first player to average a double her entire career.
Yeah,
that's
she's
crazy.
She's going
but she's starting. You could just see her game develop in a way that they talked about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she still has to get better at finishing at the rim and whatnot, because that still is a thing. But her court vision is getting better. I've been watching her passing and all that, and kind of getting there. Yeah, like she's just really doing her thing. So it's actually really dope, especially because all of the hate that she gets to see her. Like,
it's tough. She's really growing.
Yeah, developing her game the way that she is, and also like the men do multiple things throughout the season. They film movies, television shows, podcasts.
Well,
whatever
we're always going to get the short end of the stick. Right? They're kind of like, she's not focused. She's doing this. She's so busy doing that.
She goes and sits down and talks for an hour out of the day.
Yeah, her podcast. Yes, but they talk about everything. Her clothes and her
body is
her
banging
Wheaties box and all the things. Like,
let that girl live.
Yeah,
but she out there hooping. So if you're going to talk about it when she's not, then talk about it when she is. Sis is hooping.
Yes.
On the West, Phoenix is doing their thing. Seattle's doing their thing. And the Valkyries.
I know. Valkyries killing it.
Good for them. Like, it is their first season.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a sold out.
So they've sold out every single game for the entire season.
Which is amazing.
Now and in the future.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, obviously, so Valkyrie is the San Francisco Bay Area extension team. They play at the Chase, arena with, where the Warriors play. Their court and, like their ambiance there has been.
It looks very cool. I would love to go to the game.
It's super fire.
Yeah.
And so, I'm super excited about them. They are also ranked number one. I don't even know if it's true, but I saw the list, so I'm going to have to go with to say it. But they're ranked number one WNBA team, like valued team.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's that California tax, baby.
Yeah. Fair, because that's your $500 million.
Exactly. You worked a lot of money if you out here, Jack. But they've also been hooping.
Yeah, the coach, what's her name, has been killing it.
Yeah,
she's been doing really well.
That has been really, really cool to see. And it's going to be cool to see the teams that are coming.
There's
Detroit,
3 expansion
Philadelphia,
teams. And there's Detroit, Philly, and not Seattle. Seattle's already there.
It was somewhere that everybody was like,
they
don't need no team.
No,
it should have been Houston.
Cleveland, Detroit,
Cleveland, there
Philly.
we go. There ain't nobody give a damn about no Cleveland.
Cleveland, I know. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was like, wait a second, there was a third one.
I can go for Philly. I can go for Detroit.
You don't go Cleveland?
No,
do you
don't
think
get me
there's
wrong.
enough
Cleveland
talent
fans are
to fill
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to change the rules of coming out. Because they still got to do all 4 years in college, right?
Yes,
I think they have
100%
change
need to
those
reconsider
rules.
that. Yeah, because you're going to get some kids hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a dub. Make sure y'all are watching though, because the games have been great. The competition is really rising, and at post All-Star, we get into it.
Yeah, they too, like the men, they'll pick it up after All-Star.
All right. As y'all know,
we are on a mission to educate you and ourselves about the NHL.
Go hockey.
Go Canucks.
So the Stanley Cup just ended, as y'all know. Hockey coincides with NBA.
Yes.
And so the Stanley Cup just ended, and the Florida Panthers just went back to back, which is a historic moment for the franchise. So congratulations to them. I actually caught some of the games, and they were actually really fun and really good. It was really entertaining.
Like you went?
No.
Oh, just on TV.
I watched them. Yeah.
Actually, you're right, because I FaceTimed her one time. It was in the background.
Yeah, I was like, look at me watching. But it was really fun. It's really good. I mean, as with anything, high stakes sporting, no matter what it is, it's just great.
I feel like I'll pick up anything at the playoff-ish level.
Yes. Yeah. And hockey is definitely one of those sports that like, oh my gosh, like the atmosphere is amazing.
I want to go. We need to go.
We got to go.
I'll go to the Kings with you.
Yes, go Kings, go.
At least I'll be cute.
Yeah, because girl. Anywho. But okay, speaking of the Kings. So the Kings, they signed scoring winger Andrel.
See, I don't.
Come on,
No, Kuzmenko.
Okay, good for him. And so this is the thing. From what I understand is that people thought that we actually had a good chance this past season to be in the mix to like win a Stanley Cup or whatever.
You guys.
Yes, the Kings,
you guys
right?
did well.
And then we didn't, obviously. But I think that this person sounds really good,
impactful.
like a good addition. And so I think that we will once again, like we still got Kopitar and all those folks, right? Like I think we will still be in the mix.
Yeah, for the next round.
Boom. Look at us next year. Go Kings, go.
Has there ever been a time when like everyone has won? Is like the Kings won, the Lakers won.
And the Sparks.
They
would probably be the closest because the Dodgers hadn't won since 80-something or whatever. And so I don't know that they won like literally the same years, but when the Lakers were doing that like 2000 and 2002, whatever and then the Kings were also kind of in the middle of a dynasty in that time period. And then when did we win the Sparks with Canis and them? That was like
2014, 13?
Yeah, so I don't think they were in that mix, but I do think somewhere in there.
It wasn't too far.
It wasn't too far.
So the Canucks, I know it's so fancy to say, they signed Brock Boeser.
Okay.
Boeser. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Anyway, 7, and supposedly it was like really big. Like I was like paying attention and people were like, we re-signed like Brock. And it was like, whoop, go Canucks.
Go Canucks.
7 years, $50.75 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of big for
7 years?
Yeah. Okay. So
well, good,
that's what I got for you guys.
All right.
I mean, we did okay.
Hello, that's hockey. So now you know. So look at y'all. They are in the middle of their free agency and all that stuff. So
so there'll be some news
when we get back, we'll have more news and we're gonna tell you how good our teams are gonna be next year. So Wimbledon is happening.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Coco lost.
Yeah.
And she got upset. We were hoping that she was gonna do the thing again.
She reminds me of, what was the tennis player that always like broke a bracket and like who am I talking about? McIlroy.
Mm-hmm.
She like, first of all, she's fucking brilliantly talented. Like she's talented as hell. She's still so young.
Yeah.
So she's still so, she gets a little like emotional. And I don't like the fact that she did that TikTok dance with what's her name.
Okay, so if you guys were paying attention, she won Roland Garros, which is the major that happens in Paris. And the person she beat is Sabalenka, who is notoriously known to like just have a bad attitude. Like she's a brat.
But then Coco and her ended up doing this TikTok dance, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And that's where I come in with the like, we're not friends. Like, we're not doing that. First of all, I don't know how to TikTok dance anyway, so there's not going to happen. But still, like, no, I don't like that.
I
feel like what's her name should have apologized.
I do think Homegirl I'm never a fan of letting them off the hook.
Yeah, right.
To an extent. I mean, she held accountable. She did. She came out and said something, or there was some little weak ass apology.
Were like,
giving her hell about it.
Yeah.
But I don't like that when people get let off the hook, especially in that type of dynamic, right? However, from a Coco specific standpoint versus like all of our, public opinion around it, right? Like we gonna give Sabalenka hell forever, right? Like she gonna hear
fair.
None
She
of
is
us
on my shit list moving
But Coco,
forward.
who is in this circuit where it's an individual game, they go out there and compete regardless. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same as like team sport situation.
Yeah, the individualized.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at them. Like whatever. And at 20 or however old Coco is, whatever I'd rather her maintain
her relationships.
Not even about relationships, but I'd rather her maintain what feels like her integrity for her and being the bigger person for her. But they're on this circuit together for like a year basically straight. They're running in these different circles. I can understand being like, all right, I'm gonna just whip your ass again.
That's my thing.
And you're relaying.
That's all I'm saying.
But,
you don't have to hold a grudge. But I'm not doing all that with you.
You could do the thing. Like I'm not mad at her. I want her to keep that.
I mean, I don't have to be petty or hold a grudge, or I don't have to try to trip you when I see you.
Sure.
But like, I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to be like, it's okay, guys. It's, she's fine. It's like, no, let me just, what'd you say? I didn't beat you because of what? Oh, okay, hold on. Let's go play on Tuesday.
At nearly 40, we're tainted in that way.
We
At
are.
20, I think I probably would have been. You love to be like, I'm almost 40.
I'm almost 40.
She's not almost 40. But I'm just saying, we're tainted in that way. But at 20, I love that for her.
Do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like she might feel that way now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if she was our age. But like right now,
she's
I'm like,
so emotional, and I love her.
Anywho, she didn't win, and that's okay. But she'll be back strong at the next one, and we will root for her. And by the time we get to September, when she gets to USA, she's gonna have the whole crowd behind her, awesome. And it'll be great.
She'll be fine, girl.
Yeah. So we got to cover the MLB a little bit. Y'all know it's 162 games or some shit like that. So it's long. So there's no need to be like, do a thing because we ain't even. They're just started to put out there like, hey, vote for our All-Stars. So we're just at that point. So right now these are the hot teams that you need to know. The Phillies.
Yeah.
The Phillies have Trae Turner. They have Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and Bohem. However, they're playing some good baseball right now. So they're a team to watch.
Yes,
the goddamn cheating Astros are always gonna just be in the mix because they just always
tell us how you really feel.
Well, we all know that they cheat. We all know that they cheated. They had a hot June. They only lost 7 games. They went 19-7. I mean, listen, Altuve and all of them, they're always gonna just show up and do their thing. And they're just good. The Chicago Cubs, and of course the Dodgers are doing their thing. And the Cubs are young, and well, I think both teams. It's kind of one of those like there's a nice balance of Dodgers, huh?
Are not young.
No, the Cubs are young. The Dodgers have vets. And the balance, the kind of watching both of them kind of do their thing is interesting because it's a slightly different approach between the two, but both like really, really effective. Mm-hmm. So I think the Cubs are one to watch. Like obviously everybody's already watching Dodgers anyway, but like the Cubs are definitely a team to watch. And then the Detroit Tigers. I'm like, okay, so Detroit was actually really good last year too. But they are killing this year behind their pitcher. I watched the game the other day, Tarik Skubal, or however you say it. I watched the game the other day, and he had like 13 strikeouts in the game. Like, what?
Damn.
Yes, and he was and against a really good team. Like, it's not even like he was playing some
like
scrubs. Like I think it was like Minnesota or somebody. Like, a really good team, and he was slaying at that. I'm like, come on. Okay. He won a Cy Young last year.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he's still like that hot. Yeah. So we'll see if he can like keep this up. You know
I
what
like
I mean?
when teams keep that momentum rolling into the next season. That's always because I feel like they feel like, damn, we are right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and you
they
could
keep
tell,
that.
like their bats are batting, and he is obviously killing it. So I think it's kind of definitely one of those things where Detroit will be, if he can stay at this level and they can kind of keep making contact in the way that their offense has been.
Yeah.
They're gonna be
tough.
All right. Yeah, they're gonna be tough. So that's kind of where we are on the MLB front.
Okay.
we'll check back in like September. Just kidding. We'll check in
next year will be
next
great.
time. Yeah, exactly. It'll be good.
What's this? There's a new segment?
Yes, locker room.
Locker room lingo.
Okay.
Hell yes.
So y'all know how y'all always hear like sports talk, right? And like people are, you'll either hear it from like a coach or a player or whatever it is. And you're like, the fuck does that even mean or whatever? So every now and then a segment that we'll do is we'll kind of break down like what the locker room sports lingo means, right?
Okay.
So for this episode, we'll just kind of give you an example of what it be. So for example, you know how like after the game and the coach or the player's like, well, we played our style and we're happy with what we did because it was our style. But like, what?
Sir, ma'am, excuse me?
What that mean? Because you lost. So is your style of play effective or
right,
not?
exactly.
Like,
are your style of play losers?
Yeah, exactly. Do you, at what point, like after you say some shit like that and you go back in there, do you reevaluate your style?
So clearly we should switch it up.
Yeah.
Yes. And how do your players feel about your style? Like what is happening?
That's always the question. So essentially when they're saying that, they're saying that we played the game we wanted to play, but ultimately either went our way or it didn't, but we weren't going to conform to what the other team was doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we are who we are.
Yeah.
Which we didn't switch it up.
I think especially in team sport, or actually any sport really, you do want to be able to stick to
you have to have a foundation.
Yeah,
like, you don't want to be so like what my dad would say is willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of a leaf in the wind. Like every time they move, you move, and it's like you don't have an identity.
Yeah, or you're letting that other team you're playing start to dictate how you're moving. Now you're getting out of your normal.
That's the worst. Don't let a team dictate your momentum. It's a wrap.
Yeah. Because now it's like that Patrick Ewing quote where he's like, "Did you practice that shot?"
Oh, right. Like why would you? Yes.
Yeah. Now
100%.
you out there doing some shit that y'all ain't never done before because you're trying to keep up with this team. Like, bruh.
Right. You ain't never
ran
spin. That. Yeah, nothing ever. Step back.
Cut it out.
Right.
Yeah. So you want to impose your will on the game. And so when they say that we played our style, that's essentially what they mean. Now,
sometimes that means right. Sometimes that means losing.
Whether that's for better or worse. We don't know.
A winner and a loser.
There we go. All right, so I think we have a couple questions and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, considering what obviously we're still in the middle of free agency and all that type of stuff, so we don't know fully what all the teams are going to look like into next
NFL?
year. NBA.
Yeah.
But with the landscape of the NBA as is, who do you trust more, star power or a team that has depth?
A team that has depth.
Yeah.
I always go. I mean, it's nice to have star power, and I think in some cases it's necessary depending if they're a vet or not.
Sure.
But like for example, just stick to the Lakers. Like I just don't think that type of star power is going to out hustle, and I feel like that was obviously apparent this season. They're not going to like outdo I'll just take like Houston. You know what I mean? Like they are deep, they're young. Indy was surprising. I think teams like the New York Knicks like were a little short of depth, and therefore, even though they had like Brunson who was like killing it, they were kind of missing that one or two people. And so I feel like when you have 5 solid players and you have like a good probably 7 squad, like at least 7 players that are decent, like that's when you start really being effective.
Yeah, it used to be for the longest that like by the time you got to the playoffs, you shorten your rotation.
Yeah, you knew
exactly.
Yeah.
But now I think
and
because of the younger teams and the way that they've been constructed, because of the CBA and having to construct that way and all that stuff, you're going to see teams that are looking to be 7, 8, sometimes even 9 players deep, and that is going to actually go into the playoffs with them.
Yep.
And they all need to be within the rotation. So I agree with you.
I'd rather 6, 7 kind of no name, like you said, budding stars. You have an opportunity to figure out which player can become the star, than having like a stack full, like just 2 big names. And then you're still like, don't let one go down.
Yeah, exactly. Your bench is completely depleted.
And then your bench, you lose your bench because you haven't like given them an opportunity to trust them, to play them, to play depth all day.
You traded them away for them and all of that.
All the things.
Okay, I like it. What's one mindset tip that you'd pass along for the summer?
So 2 things. For both for parents, I'll start there. Mindset, like it's a really long summer. It's a very, very long summer. As soon as you're like out of school, you got maybe a couple weeks and then you're like on the road. Mindset for you, family, your athlete, I would certainly say hydration, nutrition, recovery. I don't think we spend a lot of time enough on recovery in the summer because it's a lot in the summer.
So much going on. Yeah.
These kids play damn near what would be a season in a summer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could be anywhere from the upwards of 40 to 50 games.
That's wild.
In just 2.5 months.
Which is crazy.
So recovery is so important. I would say that. Also, I think we as an industry and a culture are starting to realize that it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's so much. Like people have talked about like the Achilles and like why these, players are getting hurt. It's so much.
Yeah.
And it's different than like, obviously baseball has a long season, right? But it's a very different game. We're talking strictly basketball. Summer, I would say choose your tournaments. Certainly that. And then I would just say in between time, make sure your athlete is recovering. And then also make sure your bank account is recovering.
Amen.
Because it's so much. So much.
All right. I like it. Well, listen.
Yeah, we did a
Welcome
thing.
back.
I know.
I missed you, girl.
I was going to say that you and us doing thing. Hey, sunshine.
So we're back to your regularly scheduled program. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all come back every week. You can catch us on every platform that you get your podcast.
All the things.
Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, do all the things. Help boost us up, y'all, so we can keep doing what we do because we're ready. We're ready to give you more. We have some really great guests coming up.
We do. I'm
we have some really great guests. We're really excited
The mix
about.
of our guests is really cool. We're talking culture, like musicians, comedians. We got some great perspectives coming.
Yeah. We want to make sure that you're getting a 360 experience. Like we're fans as well. And so other people are fans as well and contribute to sports in a way that you may not consider. So we're excited to kind of bring you that type of stuff.
Yeah, we're
in
talking
addition
agents.
To
just different perspectives.
So y'all make sure y'all tune in. We'll see you next time. I'm Erica. That's Gloria.
I'm Gloria. Bye.